Hey guys, how you guys doing? I want to talk a little bit more about what happened today where the US designated North Korea a state sponsor of terror. This is not going to just trigger more economic sanctions. It's going to do just that. They're going to be intense sanctions, more sanctions that the country's ever seen. But more things we want to talk about is the possibility that now we may actually see some retaliation from North Korea in the form of more tests. We've seen vehicles moving around their missile plants as of late, and normally they don't test during this time period of the year. The colder months, they normally don't test. They're normally having most of their workers and soldiers harvesting their fields, getting their supplies in order, their resources. But we might actually see Kim Jong-un start a series of tests because of this. And honestly, the U.S. putting them on this list, I gotta believe that talks are out of the question. I didn't believe that talks would happen to begin with, but you've got to believe now that talks are off the table. So a peaceful solution is something I feel like we can't wait for. It's just not going to happen. Now, something that we should note is the fact that now that North Korea is on this list, President Trump needs little to no congressional approval for a military strike on North Korea. One could debate that, because we never really had a peace treaty with North Korea and the United States, that you could argue that President Trump never really needed congressional approval, and there could be little congressional intervention if President Trump does decide to strike North Korea. They were taken off the terror list by George W. Bush back in 2008. A lot of experts saying that that was not the right move, that emboldened North Korea, that helped them accelerate their nuclear and missile programs. It's just something, guys, that it's one of the many reasons why North Korea was able to get where they are today. You could bring up Bill Clinton and his deal with the North Koreans back in the 1990s, and how the Clinton administration allowed North Korea to get these nuclear reactors, and this deal that was so one-sided, this deal that North Korea found gaping loopholes with China to get through, these sanctions that have never worked. But all we know at this point, guys, is they're put on this watch list so President Trump can order a military strike with little to no congressional approval. North Korea most likely is going to respond in some way. They've already came out and stated that another threat against Japan today, stating that Japan is not safe, that Japan could disappear all at once because they have U.S. military bases in the region. Basically, when it comes down to it, North Korea does not like the U.S. in that region. I think that the best takeaway from all of this is the fact that diplomatic talks between the two nations are virtually impossible at this point. I don't think that North Korea being put back on this list is going to make them back down at all. And the complete opposite, actually. I believe that North Korea is going to feel emboldened, and they're going to try to hit back with rhetoric and possible missile tests. We're going to have to see what happens at this point. But, this did not help relations, if we even had any going at this point, backdoor relations between the United States of America and North Korea. And it's something we're going to have to continue to watch, guys. This whole situation is a big box of kindling, and it's just ready to ignite. The situation in Asia, the situation in the Middle East, it all just points to lines being drawn in the sand of a greater conflict that may come. And it's something we're going to have to keep our eyes on, guys, as more information about this comes out. And as North Korea responds more, I'll let you guys know. We'll discuss it. Enjoy your evening, guys. It's a late one. Have a beer. Say a couple prayers, because the world needs them. Desperately, desperately needs them. And as always, guys, keep your eyes to the skies. Thanks, guys.